So to you, what is art?
Art is the basic form of self-expression in whatever way the individual chooses to do so, whether it be dancing, painting, drawing, singing, writing, or just creating things. It's just that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your earliest memory when it comes to art?
Earliest memory was making a painting for my grandparents. It had a lot of colors in it, a lot of little shapes, and it was about maybe this big.
Okay, and what are your thoughts on modern art versus like classical art?
I prefer classical art. It does, however, go along with the academic rules of, like a classical composition, visually appealing colors and forms. And a lot of people nowadays like the avant-garde where everything kind of is broken. But yeah, modern art has its place, but for me, in my eyes, in my soul, it's the classics.
Okay, and so how does art impact your day-to-day life?
Well, I am a ballerina, a painter, and a model, so I think all these things kind of fall under the art category. I'm always basically expressing myself and just staying true to who I am as an individual. So I feel like if you're an artist, then you truly have a good sense of self.
It is never alone, but there's some folks who never have had. If you've never been there, hear my song. Tell the people of the earth to be strong. You're as heavy as stone. You are never alone. But there's some folks who never have heard.
So basically I have to do this project where I want to get more insight on what people think art is, and kind of like their earliest memories with art, because it touches people in different ways, and I guess I know you're an artistic person, so I guess I want to see what you think with modern art versus like classical art. So to you, like, what's your definition of art?
To me, art is whatever you create yourself with your own emotions in it. It doesn't have to be painting or drawing. As long as you create it yourself and you put your own feelings into it. To me, art is personal.
What's your like earliest or most fondest memory when it comes to art?
When I first got into it, my mom had gone to a bookstore and she bought me a Sailor Moon book. And after I read it, I just fell in love with the art.
Okay. And as far as like modern art versus classical art, like what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that modern art is better or is on par with classical art?
I don't think one is better than the other. They both have their upsides and their downsides. And I prefer classic art because at least then you know what you're looking at. It's an actual picture. But with modern art, it's like, what is that? Are they on drugs? Like, what? No. Why am I looking at a boot on the ceiling? It's like, what is this? It's amusing, but it's like, what am I looking at?
And for you, like, so I know that you do art personally. What kind of art are you working on right now?
I do comics. I do comics, and sometimes I draw out dreams that I have that are just really weird and out there.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for your input.
Hughes. I'm 28 years old.
Okay. So what is art to you?
It's the it's like the best form of expression in the world to me. There's so many different types. And I think it's the number one way that you can express yourself without any judgments.
For you, what's your earliest memory when it comes to art?
When I was like 5, my grandpa he bought me like this watercolor set. And I used to sit there for hours on end, like just making nothing out of colors. But for me, it was art. And I took a lot of time to learn how to trace. Like tracing is my favorite thing to do.
What are your thoughts on like modern art versus more classical art?
My main thought on that is like I like the classical art better because you can tell that it's something. Like you can see something in the picture. With a lot of the modern art that I've seen, it's like colors put together. Like there's nothing to it. It's just colors everywhere. Like
And so you're a musician, right?
yeah, I play drums.
Okay. How does art impact your day-to-day life?
Like I said, it's expression. Like I can take any feeling and put it to a drum beat, and nobody's gonna have that exact same beat. You know, there's always gonna be something different about it. No matter who, you can put 10 drummers on 10 different drum sets with the same music in front of them, and they're gonna play it 10 different ways.
All right. Thanks for your input.
Yeah, no problem.
We don't use music sheet and all that. It's just that people feel.
So what's your name and how old are you?
Well, my name's Ariana Cardenas, and I am 12 years old. I'm going to be turning 13 in December. Well, yeah.
All right. And so to you, what is art?
Art. To me, it's inspirational. It's love. It's emotion, like sad, scary, and yeah.
Okay. What is your earliest memory of art?
My favorite art is making my dad some pictures for him. And like drawing pictures of me and him going to the library and yeah.
Okay. What do you think about like classical art versus modern art?
So classical art, I think classical art is more, I think it's more better because it has more meaning to it, like how it was back then. And I mean, we don't know, we don't live in that time, so it's gonna be like different. And it's gonna just be way different from modern art.
Okay. And how does art impact your day-to-day life?
Art impacts my day a whole lot because whenever I see something really pretty or cool, I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And yeah, it impacts a lot. It tells, like, sometimes I have a quote on the back of my screen in my phone. It says different is beautiful, and it's really pretty because it's like galaxy type of thing. I think it just looks really pretty.
All right. You did a great job, baby. Love you.
Love you.
So, what is art to you?
Art to me is when someone expresses their thoughts and feelings or message they want to present to others in a visual form.
What is like your fondest memory or earliest memory when it comes to art?
So I wasn't very close with art when I was younger. So my closest memory or fondest memory was when I was about 13. So very, very late. And it was my dad took me to this Keith Haring exhibit. And I thought it was really cool, and that was my first like favorite artist, or favorite first artist I've experienced.
So, what are your feelings about like modern art versus classical art? Do you have a preference, or?
I prefer classical art because it seems kind of easier to understand. Modern art to me is very confusing. Like when I went to the art institute, I saw this thing. It was just like a square. It was just a black square, and I didn't know what that means. And then I would have to read. I would have to read the description they have under it. And I'm like, I don't get that from that black square at all. It seems like you're just writing something and just kind of slathering like whatever you find. So.
And how does art impact your day-to-day life?
Art does. I don't think. Well, it kind of does, because if you look at advertisement as a form of art, when I'm hungry and I see like a giant sign, or I would go there because it's very attracting. It looks very appealing. So like McDonald's with the red and yellow, no matter the clash, but look at that bright, vivid. You can see it anywhere, or like Wendy's or something.
So advertisements.
Yeah.
Things like that. Okay. All right. Thank you for your input. To me, art is creation and creativity. It can be really complex and evolved, but it could also be very simple and basic. It covers everything in our everyday lives, from simple advertisements, um, all the way up to the way you paint your house, architecture, intricate paintings, religious symbols. It could be children's drawings. It could be those little cutouts of snowflakes that you did when you were younger. It could be poetry, dance, music. It's a way for humans, for consciousness, to express itself. My earliest memory of art was actually drawings that I did when I was younger. And my favorite one that I remember still was one called The Angry Kid. And it was just, it was a paint, that was a drawing that I used with crayons and just pencil. And I remember how proud my father was of the picture. It helped me a lot when I was younger to kind of express frustrations and things like that, for things that happened to me in my childhood. As far as modern art versus classical art, I don't really have a favorite. I love the classics, the detail, the color, it's just perfect. But I guess personally, I love more of the abstract, more of that's left to the imagination, for the viewer to figure out and to kind of his own perspective on it. And as far as art and everyday life, I have always tried to be creative. Sometimes I've worked on something where you just enter flow, and when you snap out of it, I've been amazed at what I've done. And there's been other times in which I start, a sketch or drawing or something, and I don't like it, and I rip it out and I crumple it up, throw it away. I've tried different, just different types, just to kind of see, just to get practice to see what my preference was. I try to keep creativity in my everyday life, from I don't know, stacking cups at work, or even encouraging my kids to be artistic and to draw, and to let them know that it's okay for them to express themselves. So yeah, art is present in my everyday life.
Tell me something. Get down, 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 play it.